Hyundai's soon-to-be-revealed three-row all-electric SUV, the Ioniq 7, is currently undergoing winter testing in northern Sweden. Or is it the Ioniq 9? Didn't I just report a few months ago it's the Ioniq 9? Something's going on here. Some new spy photos have me a little confused. Hey everyone, it's the Ioniq guy. If this is your first time to the channel, welcome. My name is Corbin. I cover all things Hyundai, Kia, Genesis, EV related. Some new video out of Sweden by the Korean car blog. They've recently released some spy video of both the Ioniq 7 or Ioniq 9, whichever it's going to be, as well as the upcoming Kia EV3 doing some winter testing. And there's not really much better place to do it other than the Arctic Circle. So for those of you who don't know, Hyundai does have a test track up in northern Sweden, and I'm gonna butcher this name, in Arjeplog. Sorry, Swedes out there. But yeah, they have average temperatures in the winter of between -15 and -40 degrees Celsius. So extremely cold, much colder than it gets in most other places on the planet. So it's a great place for them to test out the systems of these cars. So we finally get to see what the car looks like with its hazards on, which is something we haven't seen yet. You can see there's some little yellow pixels down on the lower side of the tailgate flashing. I don't know why they're on while they're driving down the road, but they got a whole little convoy here led by a Volvo, and then tailgating very closely is that Kia EV3. And then a little bit further behind is the Ioniq 7 or 9. Through some of the front camouflage as well, we're also seeing there are pixels around the pixels for the accent lighting. So you have a white pixel surrounding the actual illuminating pixel. Interesting detail. It's going to be really interesting to see what this car actually looks like when they finally take all the camouflage off, because up until now, I just don't feel like a lot of these spy photos have done the design justice. The concept vehicle was absolutely stunning, really jaw-dropping, just a really great looking big SUV, but up until now, it's kind of looked kind of frumpy. It's looked kind of like a minivan, so I'm hoping it ditches that look when we finally see it fully revealed. And like I previously mentioned, that reveal will take place this summer, the end of June, at the Busan Auto Show in Korea. We still don't know when the EV3 is officially going to be announced, but it's looking like sometime this year or potentially early in 2025. And for those of you who don't know, the EV3 is going to be Kia's entry-level EV, probably taking the place of the Niro EV. That car is getting long in the tooth, so they need something new to freshen up that lower end of their lineup and really bring that price point down with better tech. It's rumored to start around $30,000, which, if that's before any incentives or tax breaks, that could be a very affordable EV. What's also interesting in this video is that there's also a 2024/2025 Ioniq 5 going along for the ride too, which is interesting because that car is already supposedly on sale in Korea. So you would think all this testing would have been done before they started selling the car, especially in their home market, but maybe they're testing some other components that are only related to markets that haven't gone on sale yet. And I also don't know when this video was shot. It could have been shot 2 or 3 months ago before we even knew anything about the upcoming Ioniq 5 refresh. And if you haven't seen my video on the refreshed Ioniq 5, check out the link below this video. I've got 2 videos going over all the changes coming for the 2025 model year. All right, so you want to know, why am I saying, is it the Ioniq 7 or the Ioniq 9? Well, some spy photos the other day from Korea showed the car undergoing some testing in a parking garage or something. The hood is actually open. You can see the engine bay. It doesn't look like it's anything out of the ordinary from the Ioniq 5 or Ioniq 6. You can see all the same components are there, but it's still showing Ioniq 7. And that is strange because a couple months ago, rumors started that it is going to be called the Ioniq 9 when it actually launches. Up until that time that the rumor came out, it has been known to be the Ioniq 7. But based on some reporting, it sounds like that they are trying to align more with Kia's lineup. So the Ioniq 9 would be the sibling to the EV9, Kia's three-row all-electric SUV. And calling it the 9 would obviously be delineating it as more of the top of their lineup, leaving space between the Ioniq 5 and the Ioniq 9 for a slightly smaller SUV, which could be the Ioniq 7. Because in size comparisons, the Ioniq 5 going up to the Ioniq 9, there would be a massive gap. Those cars are going to be very differently sized. So it's possible we're seeing a vestigial part just left over from the manufacturing process still on this test car. Like if it's just on the mirrors, it's probably not that difficult to change that component. Just thinking about my Ioniq 5, I don't think there's really anywhere other than on the tailgate that says Ioniq 5, so it's possible that this car might just say Ioniq 7 on the mirrors and on the tailgate somewhere. And it's possible for other markets outside of Korea, it doesn't even say Ioniq on the mirrors at all, so it would be a non-issue for cars being imported into the US. But yeah, my personal take is it should probably be called the Ioniq 9. Now, if this is what Hyundai's gonna do, I don't know what Kia's gonna do with the EV6, because the EV6 doesn't really line up with the Ioniq 5, so it's just all kind of all over the place if this is actually the direction they're going, but they are still two separate companies, so they don't necessarily have to align 100%. What do you guys think? Do you think it's gonna be the Ioniq 7 or the Ioniq 9? I should do a poll pretty soon, and then we can take bets and see who's going to be correct come this summer. Now, do you hate the fact that your Ioniq 5 or Kia EV6 doesn't automatically lock the doors as you get out and walk away? Well, you could solve that problem with my automatic door lock module. Now, you might have seen a couple months ago my video on the device, and back then I was selling it as a kit with wire taps going under the passenger seat of the cars. Now, I have fabricated a wiring harness that plugs into the trailer light wiring connector in the back of the car. Now, for EV6, that is so simple. You can install this in under 5 minutes. All you gotta do is pull that plastic panel on the left side of your trunk area, and in there is the trailer light wiring connector, the male side. This is the female side. So all you're gonna do is just pull that cable out from that little hole, and you're just gonna plug this in, and boom. After you shut all the doors of the car, after 10 seconds, all of them will lock. Now, unfortunately for Ioniq 5 owners, that process is a little bit more involved. You gotta pull back some of the panels in the trunk area to get access to that trailer light wiring harness. But honestly, it's not a big deal. I've done it so many times now, I can get in there in under 2 minutes. And then again, you just plug this in and boom, you're ready to go. I do recommend this over the wire tap option. It's just a lot cleaner of an install, easy to remove, no sign it was ever even there. And the best part, if you ever sell your car, you can take this with you to your next one. I'll leave a link in the description of this video where you can see the installation process for an Ioniq 5, or you can check out a fellow YouTuber's video of installing this in his Kia EV6 GT. And if you like written instructions, I have a full write-out down below as well. So again, you can go to ioniqguy.com and check out my listing for more information. These are in stock and ready to ship. And because you guys are my biggest fans watching this video today, I will offer you 5% off, but that's today only, so if you're interested, act fast. And to get that, you can use discount code SUNDAY5. So anyway, guys, as always, thanks for watching today's video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care, everybody.